LeBron was able to sign an extension to stay with the Lakers this week, but he hasn't. That is a huge red flag for his future with the team. LeBron might be 37 years old, but he is still one of a handful of players that makes you an instant contender. Without him, LA would be horrible, with their best player and injury-prone AD and most of their future draft picks already gone. We know LeBron just wants two things the rest of his career: to chase Michael Jordan's 6 rings and to play with his oldest son, Bronny. Can LeBron actually do all of that in LA? A lot of people think he would never leave. Then why didn't he automatically sign? One report says that he's going to do a 1 year plus a player option, but nothing is guaranteed. Bronny, though, is key to LeBron's future, and there actually is one team to keep an eye on that's not the Lakers. Bronny can enter the draft in 2024. The Lakers don't even have their 2024 first round pick. That's not good. And is Bronny even good enough to be a first round pick? Well, before we get to all of that, there are other reasons why LeBron might leave the Lakers that are super important for this season. ESPN has reported that Rich Paul and LeBron had productive talks with the Lakers front office. I guarantee in those talks, he had demands that had nothing to do with his contract length or his salary. It's no secret he wants LA to trade Russell Westbrook, his preferred teammate, Kyrie Irving, but they've already been in talks for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. The Lakers don't want to trade Russ because it would probably take their 2027 and 2029 first round picks. A Russ trade is great for the short term, horrible for the long term. But LeBron doesn't care about 2027 when he's 43 years old, so he's using this extension to put pressure on the front office. It's what LeBron does. Signs short-term deals to force his team to upgrade like he did in Cleveland. But the Lakers hate this idea because they also want cap space. Yes, I know Kyrie's on an expiring contract, but if you trade valuable picks for him, you have to re-sign him. Without Kyrie, the Lakers can rebuild next summer. They have at least $23 million in cap space next offseason, even if LeBron does sign. That would allow them to surround LeBron and AD with role players like they did in 2019. They got Danny Green, KCP, paid Alex Caruso a little, and won a title. But if LeBron doesn't sign the extension, they have enough for 2 max free agents to pair with AD. The only guaranteed players on their books are AD and Max Christie for like $42.3 million. Once LeBron signs somewhere else, his money comes off the books. So here is a look at former All-Stars the Lakers could get: Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, Nikola Vucevic, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, and Al Horford. Not a great list, I get that. But maybe they could pull off a sign and trade for someone who's actually worth it. Plus, Kyrie has more red flags than a NASCAR race. Can't play where you need a vaccine, is constantly injured, and are we even sure he loves the game of basketball? But if they want to keep LeBron happy, LA has to do whatever he wants, which also means drafting Bronny. But that'll be really tough because the Lakers traded their 2024 pick when they got AD. Now, the Pelicans can either use LA's 2024 pick or choose to take the 2025 pick instead. Now, I don't think the Pels care at all about what LeBron wants, so anything can happen. The Lakers do have a second round pick, but it's the lower of either the Grizzlies or the Wizards. For the Lakers to get Bronny, it would mean either they trade back into the 2024 first round, who knows what they'd have to give up, or it would take LeBron on draft night on the phone with every GM, like threatening them. And that's probably tampering, but I could just see LeBron right now on draft night like, you better not sign him. But is Bronny even worth a first round pick? Right now, you have to be 1 year out of high school before you get drafted. So he'll either go to college or go to the G League after his senior year. ESPN has Bronny listed as a 6'3" shooting guard inside their top 40. And a lot of dudes are one and done like that. Plus, Ja Morant was 6'2" as a senior, unranked. Anything can happen. I know a lot of people say Bronny won't be one and done. You don't know. And his dad is LeBron friggin' James. His talent might not matter as much as you think. If he is a first round pick, we have to look at who has a 2024 selection. But there's really just one team I'm focused on, the Cavaliers. I want to explain why they're a huge threat to steal LeBron, but first, here's what my favorite NBA reporter Brian Windhorst had to say about LeBron and the Cavs.
Watch the Cavs' moves over the next couple of weeks. They are going to extend Darius Garland, their all-star point guard. That is going to happen. But if the Cavs do not retain Colin Sexton, and they do not extend Karis LeVert, which is two things on their menu of options, and they leave open their cap space in 2023, it's interesting food for thought. Just keep an eye on that.
I love that conspiracy theory. I love it.
Me too! Because as usual, Wendy was right. They have not re-signed Colin Sexton. They have not extended Karis LeVert. This leaves open more than $30 million in cap space next summer. The Cavs are one of the only teams that give LeBron everything he wants. The ability to play with his son Bronny and continue chasing MJ. LeBron plus a young, talented Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and clutch client Darius Garland would be a contender in the East. It would also have the other added benefit of winning another title for his hometown. That would be amazing. A lot of people say that this would never happen because LeBron is too happy living in LA. His businesses are run there, but most importantly, his family. His daughter is just 8 years old. His middle son's about to be a sophomore in high school. Would LeBron really uproot all of that? No, because he wouldn't have to. Look, players live away from their families in season all the time in pro sports. And if there's one place that actually makes sense for LeBron from a human standpoint, it would be the town he grew up in. And his billionaire status makes keeping in touch a lot easier. What I think will probably happen is LeBron will sign that one-year deal with the Lakers with a player option and then just see who drafts Bronny and go from there. But I think the best option is for him to go to Cleveland because they can offer everything. And once he's there, he could put even more pressure on them to draft his son. Now, his preferred thing would be to stay with the Lakers, but they don't have what it takes. It's ironic. The trade that got LeBron a chip and Anthony Davis also sent out the Bronny draft pick, which will force him to leave in 2024. Now, I mentioned some of those free agents in 2023. Not a great group of free agents, probably not a true max player, maybe Andrew Wiggins, I don't know. But I made an entire video previewing next summer, talking about other 2023 agents, but also the sneaky reason why next offseason will be amazing and actually has nothing to do with who's a free agent. I also made a video about my body transformation on a second channel. It's got nothing to do with basketball, so it didn't make sense to go here on AM Hoops, but I wanted to show you guys exactly what I did step by step, so if you want to do it too, you can. I've heard people ask for how I got my hairline back from the dead, which I actually think is a great video idea. Check out that free agency video up here and my fitness journey over here.